So hey, you guys finally ready to get to the actual game in this game?
There's a
Because,
game in this game?
Motherfucker, we are 20 parts in.
Yeah. Well, we're about to embark on our first main plot mission. No side questing, no DLC, no Cerberus fuckery, and certainly no Thresher Maws. Thank God there are no Thresher Maws in the main plot in this game, because that would be annoying.
We still got to the main plot before Kingdom Hearts 2 got to its title.
Oh man.
Shut up. That's not even an exaggeration, goddammit.
I still don't think that Kingdom Hearts has even gotten to its main plot, if that makes you feel any better.
Well, sure it did. It just did it in a side game. Haven't you played Birth by Sleep yet?
Hey Jack, we found the rum.
Anyway, Therum is a planet on which there is a Prothean ruin. So, we are going here to find Liara Tassoni. She is the daughter of oh god, I forgot her
Matriarch
name.
Benezia.
Benezia, yes, that's the one. Matriarch Benezia, who is the Asari woman who was with Saren in that vaguely cinematic cutscene that is not very representative of the animation quality of the rest of the game.
Is Asari is one of the playable characters, right? Because there's a
Yeah.
there's a very conspicuous blank spot on your partner select screen.
Yeah, Liara Tassoni is recruitable party member number 6, and she returns as a full-time party member in Mass Effect 3, although in Mass Effect 2 she's an NPC that you talk to and get quests from, and temporarily joins your party for the Lair of the Shadow Broker DLC. Liara Tassoni is probably my favorite character out of the crew, but she's also the character who suffers the most from Mass Effect's franchise syndrome, where a lot of her development winds up being shunted off to side stuff that wasn't very good.
Yeah, I would say Mass Effect 1 Liara is very different from Mass Effect 2 and 3 Liara.
Yeah, and you know that wouldn't be that's fine. But the transition was in a comic, and the comic itself is not very enjoyable. It's also not very long, so it doesn't really tell you much about the transition either. Liara's place in Mass Effect 2 was hamstrung by the fact that they left that story thread open so that they could use it in DLC later. Now, fortunately, they redeemed themselves by making that DLC mission one of the most awesome things in the series, period. But, it didn't really help the storytelling aspect of her character. Now, this is something that happens in pretty much every plot mission, where you'll have a short, very linear tank driving segment.
Giant space ant.
Yeah, and it's not the same as It's not the same as driving around on a side quest planet, because the areas are very specifically designed and linear for vehicle combat. And again, I sort of wish I remembered that there was a cannon, but none of the fights.
So what you're saying is that
long,
radioactive Kool-Aid is bad for you.
Yeah. So don't try driving over the mountains; it's not going to work, and don't try driving into the lava because you will instantly die. Just stay.
I'm gonna try it anyway, just to test.
Well, it doesn't work.
Ah.
Yeah.
Quitter.
Why didn't the ship just drop us somewhere closer then?
Listen, Dr. Light, shut up.
This is actually explained in the game. Actually, there's a prescribed amount of space that is required for a safe vehicle drop. At the end of the game, when you are really, really pressed for time, and you are chasing Saren down to the final planet in the game, Shepard will actually command Joker to make a high-risk drop that practically lands your tank right on top of Saren. Saren gets away by locking a door right in front of your face, but you're able to catch up to him that way.
I say, if you're letting us drop right on top of Saren, wouldn't that kill him?
Well, you like land.
Wouldn't that have been a great ending?
There's probably a spoof video that has that exact thing happening, but yeah,
we got him.
How? We landed our tank on him.
Yeah, your tank lands in incredibly close quarters, and it's basically stuck in a position where you can't drive it until you open the door that Saren went through. So it was just a really unsafe maneuver that was only possible because Joker himself is such a good and confident pilot.
We should sneak
I know we talked about the texture pop in earlier parts, but I also noticed like sometimes it's also sequential. Like it'll upload a low resolution texture and then a mid resolution texture.
Yeah.
And then finally swap to the high resolution texture.
Yeah.
And part of me just wants that to keep going until it becomes a Shepard cosplayer.
Yeah. Oh man, the optimization in this game is so terrible. But yeah. This is what happens when you drive up the
Monster
mountain.
Truck Jam! Sunday!
That is what happens when you drive up the mountains. There's an invisible wall there, but it doesn't just stop you from driving. It interacts with the vehicle physics and will turn your car upward as if you were driving up a vertical wall.
Yeah. Like, the Mako could usually climb pretty much any other mountain on any other planet, so when they really don't want you to go someplace, you always find yourself, like,
obvious.
tipping over and doing monster truck jumps and
Fucking
stuff.
table flips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's used for a lot of bug videos.
You actually do have a choice for how to proceed here. You can ignore your party members telling you to go around back and just shoot your way through the front gate. But going around this way is substantially easier because all you have to fight are foot soldiers, and you're in a goddamn tank.
Rex,
Now-
who's the commander here?
It's actually interesting that Rex was the one to suggest it in my playthrough, because the stereotype for Krogans is that they're gung-ho, action-obsessed, and stupid. But Rex is very smart.
Oh, so it's misleading you. He wants you to do it, so he's telling you not to.
No, Rex is actually the smart guy who knows how to restrain himself when it's smart to do so, which is exactly why you want him to survive this game. Because, you know, his brother, the guy who will take over ruling the Krogans after this if Rex dies, well, Reve is an asshole. There's no other way to say it. Reve is a goddamn asshole.
Rex may have died in the first game, but now we can have his identical twin brother, Krex.
Now, the thing is, Reve can totally be reined in if he's the one who winds up ruling the Krogan, but only if another character survives. Basically, Reve is, you know, the typical stereotypical Krogan male who's dumb, brutish, and stupid, but he's also totally whipped. So if the female Krogan you're supposed to save in that game actually survives past the Krogan chapter, she makes sure Reve doesn't do anything dumb.
So I was just gonna say, so that's different from human men. How?
So
Gentrified
if you
galaxy.
save Rex in this game, he's not in your party anymore, but is
No, unfortunately, Rex does not rejoin your party in any later game because he's got important things to do. He does temporarily rejoin your party Liara style in one of the Mass Effect 3 DLC, which was sort of a farewell party for the entire cast. And I guess they decided, you know, we want everyone to have some role in this, and Rex has been sidelined for 2 games, so let's have him come back as a temporary party member.
So is it of the level of like Metal Wolf Rex, where the president's in a giant mech and stuff?
Huh?
No.
Metal Wolf Chaos.
Metal Wolf Chaos. My
Metal
bad.
Wolf
I always
Chaos, yeah.
I always forget his name.
That is the greatest thing
But-
ever.
Yeah, but is it like on the level of like a president going into war himself and doing shit?
Where your last line of defense is the president of the goddamn United States.
Fuck yeah.
Now, this facility is so ramshackle and empty that I have no idea what its function is apart from being a security checkpoint. Which might be all it is, actually.
I'm gonna say its entire purpose could just be being a security checkpoint.
I like how they have just, you know, thrown together solar panels and stuff for power. Just stuff that they unloaded off a ship and plugged into their stuff with
That trash can.
an
That trash
extension
can looks very
cable.
suspicious. Oh, it's just a trash can. Ow, dick!
That was easy. These guys are scourge of the universe. How?
Okay, I love playing Vanguard in the latter 2 games because the biotic charge ability is the most badass thing in the series. But I like playing as a Vanguard or a soldier in Mass Effect 1 because the shotgun just decimates everything and it's hilarious.
The way he fell down, though, that's so much he died. He's like he suffered from food poisoning.
It's like, ah!
Time for yoga. My hip.
It's like some of my buckshot did a U-turn in midair and hit him in the belly, and unfortunately the Geth rocket soldier didn't remember that he's a robot made of circuitry and therefore does not have guts to blast out. So.
There's something to blast out inside though. That's all that matters.
You blasted his mainframe, maybe?
No, we need another word for it.
Now, you don't find this out until Mass Effect 2, but the Geth bodies aren't their actual individual bodies. The Geth don't have individuality in the first place. They're programs. They load themselves onto into bodies as they need to.
Oh, they're Ultron. Okay.
They're the Borg.
No, the Borg is like one hive mind. If they're individual, well, actually, no. Ultron's kind of like he's one program who can load his consciousness into different robots, basically. So, but it's not. But he's still like one individual personality.
The Geth are a pretty well written and well explained thing in the latter two games, and you get shades of that in Mass Effect 1. They were building to it, but you don't really learn a whole lot about them until close to the end of Mass Effect 2, where a certain character who knows them about as well as Tali knows the Quarians is
it the Martin Sheen guy?
No, that's the elusive man. He never joins your party. He never does any fighting.
Those some very slow moving projectiles. Like, what the fuck are they hoping to hit with that shit?
That's a shame though, Lewis. I want Martin Sheen on my party.
Well, technically, why am I calling him Martin Sheen? Technically, the elusive man should be capable of joining Shepard's party at some point. Like, he was a former special ops soldier himself, but he never
missed opportunity there.
He never gets directly involved in the action. He's a behind the desk sort of leader. Oh,
that's
dear.
lame.
Oh dear. Okay. Okay, I'll take the
Martin Sheen
hit.
would have driven that better.
It is possible to
Shepard.
run by a lot of these guys too.
Yeah, fucking Goomba stomp it.
It works.
It
Did
does.
it work? Do it again.
It does work. I don't recommend doing it too often, but it does shut them up for a little while.
I've done a few speed runs of Mass Effect, and it is possible to run by a lot of these guys too. Like, if you just want to get to where Liara is, you could skip a lot of these ships, and they're just like, "Hey, wait, come back!" And they don't,
Yeah, you don't have to kill them. I recommend
Your
doing
buggy
it for the
moves faster
experience,
than the
but
goddamn projectile.
I recommend killing them anyway for the experience and the money, but it's something that you can get away with skipping.
Yeah, I'm talking more New Game Plus stuff.
So, if you're playing on New Game Plus, how long does it take to beat the game? Then, like, can you do it in under?
I can beat it in an afternoon. I know that. Like, I could play from the beginning of a New Game Plus save file, and if I'm skipping all the dialogue, if I'm just doing the bare essentials of what needs to be done to reach the credits, I can go from like 1 p.m. till 6 or 7, and I could beat the game.
Yeah. It's like a long movie with gameplay segments in between it. Not in the derisive critic of Metal Gear Solid 4 sense, but like that's the feeling that the game and the story give you.
Gotcha, because I'm like, this is nowhere near Metal Gear Solid 4, man.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. We spent 15 minutes talking to one person, one part.
Oops.
Yeah, but that was technically in-game.
All cutscenes are
Also,
in-game.
the act of talking is a gameplay mechanic.
Yeah.
I like it when a vehicle section throws a bunch of on-foot enemies at you and you can just mow them down. Look at that guy. That guy was a trooper. He just throws up a kinetic barrier to hide behind. Oh man, never give up, never surrender.
You guys don't even have name tags.
Shepard, the cannon. Shut up.
Actually, the guests don't even have names. So,
Yeah, they don't have name tags. What chance do they have?
The fuck? Come on, you have to remember that you have a cannon at this point. Isn't there something in your mind saying, this is taking an unusually long time?
the Geth are an interesting concept because they are essentially a democratic hive mind.
What?
They're a democratic hive mind.
Well, hold on a moment. How
Again,
do you have
what?
a democracy if you're only one person? Man, like, I could really go for tacos. I also want burgers. Let's vote with myself.
They're not people, they're programs. They decide things by calculating amongst themselves. They make decisions they make decisions in like seconds. They only use words when they need to communicate with, well, organic people.
Shepard, are you drunk again?
I elect President Geth for presidency. Do you have any objections, President Geth? No objections here, President Geth. Thank you, President Geth.
The Geth
Okay, you
Party
say
would
that
like
as-
to request that the Geth Party does stop filibustering for the Geth proposal.
You say that as a joke, but if you ask any Geth what their name is, they will say, "We are Geth." that is their serious answer. We are Geth.
Shepard.
The other interesting thing about the Geth, though, is that they're smarter in numbers, but they're also relatively stupid as individual programs. So
humans.
So yeah, so they basically have to gather in some kind of numbers in order to.
No. It's the opposite with people. A person's smart. People are dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They-
Have
they-
you not listened to Tommy Lee Jones?
They basically have to assemble in great numbers in order to be capable of tactical decision making. So when you meet a Geth that is intelligent enough to match a person, it's actually like several thousand Geth programs downloaded into a single body.
So they're complete idiots, is what you're saying.
They're idiots
They have
with the
flashlights
potential
for
to be
heads.
geniuses in a collective.
Oh, they're cheaters. Okay, yeah, that's how it is. All right.
The Geth, the Geth are an interesting concept because they are, at their heart, so alien that they defy direct understanding by humans, and that makes them interesting to learn about when the story gives you an opportunity to do so.
Of course, you can't just keep on shooting all of them, and it's just fine. Got nothing better to do.
Well, you know, by the end of Mass Effect 3, you basically do have the option to either kill all of them off or kill all the Quarians off. It's actually one of those cases where getting a perfect ending to one of Mass Effect 3's chapters is legitimately some sort of challenging because you have to do certain things to fulfill the requirements to make it possible.
That game still has romance and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Hey, baby, want to kill all the humans?
You want to know what the best part is? You can romance Tali in Mass Effect 2 and then kill off the Quarians and watch her commit suicide, and it makes you feel like an asshole.
Dark?
I was going to say, that's not great at all.
No, it's not great at all. Now I'm depressed. Let's talk about President Geth again.